Okay, welcome to another Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, okay? So, we already finished most of the Persona 4 members, okay? So, the story, of course, it stops at a certain point because, um, it stopped at a certain point because basically all stops because we haven't found out, like, Labris, like, why is she there, okay? And Teddy is the weirdest one among all, okay? But maybe that explains why there's like a empty space over here. Because Teddy was able to like reach, give me a second. Teddy was able to reach like post Labris awakening, okay? Because most of them when they got there, like we saw how Labris like is awakened by her shadow self, okay, and she kind of rejected it. But during Teddy's time, it's already the announcement room is already turned into something very, how should I say this, bleak, okay. So I think like this one here, there is a reason to why like they do it. Like, of course we're gonna start with you, right? Then the other four members, and then Kanji come in, and like there's another blank spot. So there's gotta be a reason, okay? And I think Naoto here, she's probably gonna be like the prelude to the three of them joining. Okay, so I don't know what to expect, and let's see how it goes.
今回の接触を経て、シャドウワーカーという組織およびその指導者桐城充に関し得られた心証を記しておく。
So she's known as, they know her to use, you know, their personas. Well, at least has something to do with the shadows. My fingers fly across the keyboard. My last case was special. I need to complete my report before I forgot any important details. My name is Shirogane Naoto. I'm a detective. The Shirogane family has been working as a detective for generations. So I'm young and still in high school. I've been given the opportunity to take on several cases and build up experience as a detective. My work has earned me some trust, as every so often the police will come to me for my assistance. Now, this part here, during P4, it is kind of like known that she, of course, without a doubt, that she has some cases under her portfolio, but she's not respected. Like whenever like she's brought to a case and into the room for the discussion, like all the policemen, the detectives, like, what the heck is the kid doing here? So that is usually like the flow of the uh of the case. That's where this story begins. A sudden request from the Inaba Police Department. That was about a month ago, early April. Wait, this happens a month before the story started? In other words, like, March you left for in March you left for to go back to the city, and then April she got called to Inaba, and then May this happens, you know. Last summer I had received a request from the prefectural police to come to the town of Inaba. A bizarre series of murders was occurring. A corpse would turn up every morning after a foggy night. In the end, it turned out to be the most difficult case of my career. It's been about 2 weeks since the case was closed. Yeah, because the last day, more or less, is March 21st. That's when the final dungeon was released. Okay? And then the final dungeon was released, unveiling the final boss. No, from the public's viewpoint, 4 months have passed since the crimes were stopped. The culprit has been arrested and prosecuted. Peace has returned, but with the with it comes a depressing proposition. I'm not unwilling to help the police again, but my involvement with the previous case is not something I'd like to go through again. To be completely honest, that particular case was no simple series of murders. During the course of my investigation, I obtained a supernatural power known as my persona, making me more than just a detective. I collaborate with other persona users and become directly involved with the events of the case. Of course, I was able to tell this to the if I was to tell this to the police, it would be treated as nonsense. Worst case scenario, I would be discredited. But well, Dojima also know about this, but on a surface level, okay? But he trusted us, okay? And I assume that he kept it under wraps. Having to leave out those details while explaining the events of the case is more than a little nerve-wracking and feels like lying, but there you have it. While on my way to the police department for this new case, I go through a list of possible questions and answers I would need. Inaba PD. Something different today though. After greeting the receptionist, I'm not led to the usual dull meeting room. Instead, I'm taken to a reception area on the top floor. A leather-trimmed sofa, a curved wooden table, a novel-rich setting. If this was just going to be paperwork and basic questioning, they wouldn't have brought me to this special room. Is it a new case? I have to wait several minutes before someone comes to speak with me. When the door finally opens, a man wearing a suit, not fitting the uniform of a local officer, walks in. He hands over his card. His card has a lengthy title, National Police Agency, Security Bureau, Security Planning Division. I was shocked. They are more commonly known as Public Safety Police. The Security Planning Division is the command center for the departments that handle terrorist threats, coup d'etat, and foreign affairs. The secret police also belong to this group. But why would a person such importance come all the way to a rural local like this? I look him in the eye. He appears to be measuring me out. Without any further talk, the man gets to his point.
あのキリ嬢ですか？知らない人は少ないと思いますが。
担当直入に言おう。君にグループの内定を依頼したい。
企業内定？なぜ僕なんです？僕にできて、あなた方にできないことなんてないと思いますが。
そうでもないさ。シャドウやペルソナ能力などが絡むとなれば。
そうでもないさ。That wouldn't be the case if shadows and personas were involved. This time I'm unable to hide my surprise, but the man continues, either falling to see or purposely ignoring my reaction. So, in other words, the secret police knows about shadows and persona.
12年前の夏、キリジョーグループのお膝元であるタツミポートアイランドで死者50人を数える爆発事故が起きた。
Wait, P3, of course we know about this explosion, right? Was it 10 years or 12 years ago? Because you have to plus 2 years because this is Persona 4. Persona 4 came out 2 years after Persona 3, and you have to add another extra year because it has been 1 year after that, so it should be 13 years. Well, 13, 14, or is it 15? I'm not sure.
当時君はまだ幼かったろうが。
その件なら資料には一通り目を通しています。公式発表では建設工事中のガス管理のミスが原因ということになっていましたね。
She said she reviewed the materials from the case.
しかし事故後に妙な噂が広まってそちらの方が耳目を集めたとか。
キリジョーの犠牲者に研究員という肩書きが不審に多かったことにマスコミが気づいてな。公式発表は嘘で爆発の原因はおかしな実験だったんじゃないかと騒ぎ立てた。
でも確証は出ず、時間とともにうやむやになっていったと記憶していますが、今では事件のことは覚えていても詳細を思い出す人は少ないでしょう。
あの噂は全て本当だ。
His voice becomes firm.
当時の宗家当主桐城光悦のもと、連中はあの場所でシャドウを人為的に利用するための実験をしていた。
Yes, the grandfather is the evil one, and then like the father, and then the father of Kirijo Mitsuru, right? The grandfather is the evil one. The father is trying to atone for the father, or for the grandfather, and Mitsuru at the end had to carry the burden all the way. Like I really respected the father for, well, you know, Mitsuru's father.
爆発はその暴走によるものだ。
シャドウを使って実験？しかも暴走ってまさか現実の街にシャドウが溢れ出たとでも？
それはわからない。つかみようがなかった。当時は誰もそんなオカルトじみた代物は相手にしていなかった。あの事故があって政府も警察もようやく重い腰を上げたんだ。もっと言えば本腰を入れ始めたのはほんのここ 1,2 年だ。
Why? That couldn't be helped. Law can only preside over the world as we know it. Things can't be explained, can't be governed.
具体的に何が起きて後始末にどのくらいかかったかはグループの連中にしかわからない。
後始末。
The word has a bad ring to it. It brings to mind a cover-up of some dark
後始
secret.
末というのを連中はつい最近まで続けていた。連中にしかわからない勝手な方法でだ。我々は連中が事故後の少なくとも10年間事後処理を隠れみのに裏で非合法な活動を続けていたと見ていた。
Because even though, like I say, I respected Mitsuru's father, right? There's still something that kind of bothers me. Okay, because during the grandfather's time, P3, like they are definitely researching in shadows before it happened, right? So assuming it was 12 years ago, okay, let me calculate things. So Persona 4 released in 2010. Okay, so if you minus 12 years, it'll be 1998 where that explosion happens, right? Okay, and in other words, before that, the Kirijo group was investigating. They were investigating shadows in light, okay, because the grandfather wanted to control time or something like that, okay, and of course at the end it failed, but we found out that they make like with that knowledge they made anti-shadow weapons, okay, and that's how like Aegis and all come to life, okay. But most of the Aegis series, they are, Aegis, Aegis other like types, they are destroyed when Thanatos was unleashed, okay. So Thanatos was unleashed and they all got destroyed, and Aegis is the only surviving one, okay. And afterwards, even though the father was against this, okay, after the explosion, of course, grandfather died. The father actually, even though that he hated it, he still continued on with the research and stuff. The reason why, well, to a certain extent, I think, because that's why we get Strega, okay? Strega, who at that time was, if they are around high school age, right? So protagonist around 17, 16, 17, 18 years old, okay? So Strega should be around that age, okay? So it doesn't make sense if they stop during the explosion, okay? Like after the explosion, they don't want to do anything with it. By that time, like the Strega members should be around 4 to 6 years old, something like that. Okay, So I do think the trauma that Strega had should be afterwards, okay? Because they'll be too young to remember everything, even though that it's still etched in their heart. So I assume that at the very least, like the experiments they had to endure, at least like around 10 years old or something like that. They didn't went too far into this, so this is all my speculation. And that's why like, I think, even though that the father hated the idea of like continuing his father's legacy, but it's for the greater good, and he plans to like take the burden to his grave. A total difference than the grandfather who wants to control everything.
その尻尾を僕につかめと。
我々とつながりがあり、かつペルソナ能力を持っていて、長期の実戦経験もある。これ以上の人選はない。
Yeah, this is another thing. The police do know about the personas and stuff. And if I'm not wrong, Persona 5 strikers, they more or less, like the police are involved with it. Like I couldn't play P5 for strikers because it was super laggy for me. I don't know why. Okay, like I even tried to lower down the settings, but I didn't get to that level, so I don't know exactly what happened.
しかも直接の警察職員じゃないから、万一ネズミ捕りにかかっても自分たちには繋がらない。
ま、好きに取ってくれていい。
My reply was meant to be sarcastic, but this conversation is exceptionally draining. I must applaud public safety. They know everything about anybody and they chose to investigate. There's no point in trying to bargain with them. He continues explaining indifferently, as if he's able to stand my resignation.
実は去年、我々警察はキリ城と共同で非公式の警備部署を新設した。通称シャドウワーカー。
This is definitely Mitsuru. I assume this is Junpei. Who's the rest?
シャドウ関連事案に対処できる特務部隊だ。
そんなものが。ずいぶん思い切りましたね。疑わしい相手とあえて組んだと。
だからこそだ。国家の命令系統に組み込んで首輪をつけておく必要がある。
しかし知識ではあなた方が数段立ち遅れている。制度上は上の立場でも実際に主導権を握れるのかは疑わしい。だから弱みを握っておきたいと。
I tried throwing out a theory as I began to grasp on what's taking place. The man didn't so much as flinch, but he didn't give me much of an answer
それで
either.
内定というわけですか。具体的にはどうしろと。
ここから先は。
Oh damn it. So that's the game plan, I figure as much. An organization as big as Kirijo Group is hiding the secret about the shadows. Now, should I take the job or not? As a person with persona abilities, I'm naturally interested in learning how much is known about the shadows. And this job could potentially give me leverage over the government in the future. While I'm in deep thought, the man continues as if he can read my mind. And also another question that I'm very curious about is that the Persona series, they are basically based on the same year that the year that they are launched is the year that they're gonna be set in, right? Okay, so let's just take for example, it's gonna be released in 2026, for example. Okay, if it's 2026, okay, P3 2008, P4 2010, P5 26 or 2018. 26 is the original game. 2018, was it 2019? Is the Persona 5 Royale. Okay. So like it's gonna be like at the very least 7-8 years or so, or 10 years depending on how they want to go through it. Okay. 10 years after that, there's a whole new generation of that's a new generation. Okay, so in other words, if you take Naoto, who is at 2010, at the age of 17. Okay, 2010, 17, and plus 15, she'll be around 30 years old by then. Okay, she'll be around 30 years old, and the P5 teams are mostly in their mid-20s. So I wonder if they can like connect it, because 3 and 4 are always come in sets because they are very close in age. But P5, I don't know whether they can like isolate them, because P5, it seems like they're trying to avoid having any P3 and P4 influence. Okay, some of the like connection that we have are very minor. Like for example, Lise, you can see Lise's poster from time to time when you pass by P5 like station. You see, oh, it's Rise. Okay, it's like those very minor stuff. Like they have no interaction with them. So I wonder if they're gonna like bring other Persona series and make them into part of the story. That's something I'm curious about. While I'm deep in thought, the man continues as if he can read my
組織の
mind.
利益のための依頼と思っているならそれは誤解だ
I can't help but look up at the obvious change in his
調べ
tone.
によれば桐城は事故の処理に傘下の学園の生徒を言いくるめて利用していた可能性がある得体の知れない不祥事の尻拭いを連中はそ知らぬ顔で何も知らない一般の若者にやらせていたんだ許されることじゃない法に携わる身として見過ごすわけにはいかない
He's surprisingly sincere. He's staring right at me. Unlike before, his eyes are strong and bold. He truly doesn't want anyone innocent to suffer. Of course, this could be an act to convince me, but even then, I do agree with that opinion. All that remains is to find out Kirijo's intentions.
わかりました。お受けしましょう。ただし僕はここでの学生生活を捨てるつもりはありません。そうせずにできる範囲のことなら。
I would never have detected a condition like this before. The reason I had come to this town and transferred to Yasogami High School was for my investigation. But the school life and the dear friends I've gained have become irreplaceable to me. It may sound childish to demand that I stay with my friends, but if they refuse to budge in that regard, that's that. However, he accepts my condition almost too easily. He then immediately begins to explain the details of the
今
case.
月末にある特別な荷物の空輸があるその荷をめぐって騒ぎが起きないよう取り計らってほしいと桐城から要請があった
So this is how it goes. If you remember, with all the other members, okay, they are all, well, of course the story goes on, but this is what I've been saying many times, is that behind the scenes, you can also hear like everybody like turn on the TV, and they talk about the plane hijacking or whatever. So, now we know the content belongs to Kirijo.
これに警察側立会人の一人として同行してもらう
Okay.
騒ぎが起きないようにとは
Transport safely, just nothing bad happens. More technically.
警備への協力それに不測の事態が起きた際に公開捜査に踏み切らないこと
So she is involved with it.
無論実際に何か起きれば責任は取らせる
I was right about that. Like she is involved with it.
その特別な品とは何です
シャドウ研究関連の代物だそのこと自体はすでに桐城も認めているが具体的な中身はわからない我々の調べではおそらく遺産旧エルゴノミクス研究所関連の危険度4以上の品である可能性が高い
Ergonomics Research Laboratory.
要するに厳重にしまわれてはいるがとびきり危険な代物ということだ
They even have a risk scale for things like this. It seems that the Kirijo's research goes into a variety of different things. As I'm thinking, the man slides a photograph to me. It's a beautiful young lady. Her eyes show a strong will, as striking as her blazing red hair. But it looks, I don't know, like brownish to me. That hair reminds me of something. I may have seen her picture while going through the documents regarding the Port Island incident. Of course, the girl in those pictures was much younger.
その便には彼女も乗り合わせる。名前は桐城満。
霧城。
創業者一族宗家の長女で、12年前の事故の首謀者、桐城光悦の孫娘。そして、強力なペルソナ能力者でもある。
I'd never use her in the team. A Persona user besides us? I was suspecting something like this, but to hear it out loud is still shocking. You know, if this is just me talking, okay? If I'm one of the ATLUS like directors or like somebody that can influence the course of how the series goes, like I would make P6 like I'll make P6 the series that combines all the Persona series, okay? So in other words, that you bring the P3, P4, P5 casts, okay, and members and make them join the team, okay? And like doesn't mean like joining the team is like the main team, like joining the story, okay? And they'll be helping with the new set of members that are joining in, okay? And it's like the older generation teaching the younger generation, okay? And based on that, okay, the ending I don't know what it's gonna be, but I'm gonna leave it like some sort of like a up to us to interpret, or like the threat is not over, so that even when the game ends, we can turn it into a spin-off, okay? So like the shadows are become more aggressive and stuff, right? Then like you can make, okay, we can turn it into like a tower defense game, we can turn it into like a strategy game, like humans versus shadows. That could be it, okay? Maybe not, or like the threat is there, only like maybe 10% of the society knows it because it's such a large scale, or something like that. Like, how I would like to explain is like, if you watch Gate, the anime Gate, where Gate, what happened is like, long story short, is that there's a gate to Isekai world, and it appeared in like Tokyo or something, okay? It appeared in Tokyo, and then people can go in and out of the Isekai world freely, okay? But of course, it's been under control by the military, so in a sense, you can go freely, but it's gonna be controlled by the government and the military, okay? So imagine like a gate that opens up, that shadows comes in and out, and they're gonna create like a task force to take them out, which consists of Persona users. So that's a crazy idea, but at the very least, like doing that, you can have like the story goes on, but you don't need to rely on the mains. You don't need to rely on the mains. You don't need to rely on the main Persona series again. And also, it can branch into like the merging of the SMT series as well, because the SMT series is like SMT series is basically like the world is fucked up, and the world is already fucked up because like the devils are all over the place, okay, and it brings the world into ruins, blah blah blah. So that's why, like, if you do that, you can kind of like maybe merge the worlds, or maybe like dimensions, like the Persona world, they are in this dimension, okay, a parallel world dimension, and then if whatever that I said it's gonna like create like a portal to the other world where the Shin Megami Tensei story revolves around. A persona users besides us. I was suspecting something like this, but to hear it out loud is still shocking. So there are persona users other than those involved in the case last
彼女
year.
自身もまだ高校生だった3年前、自ら人集めの先頭に立っていたと目されている。まずは早期邸宅へ向かい、彼女に会ってもらう。
Ah. This reminds me of what happened at Persona 3. So, spoiler alert for Persona 3. Protagonist died. But he stopped the gate from opening. And that gate could be the like it's gonna unleash like hell. Basically it's gonna unleash hell to the world, right? Could that gate be used to connect the Shin Megami Tensei world? I assume it is.
わかりました。
キリ城の要人でペルソナ使いという時点で察しただろうが、彼女もシャドウワーカーの一人だ。隊員番号1番、つまり総責任者。しかも今の地位はキリ城ゆえではなく、実力を認めさせてのものだ。やれるか？もしも彼女がクロンなら、とても一筋縄ではいかないぞ。
If you ask me, like, without a doubt, okay, Aegis in the post game, she took up the mantle as a leader, right? Because the protagonist, you know, is out of the story, so she gains the ability of the protagonist. Okay, but if you remove that, the next person in charge, like the most useful, I would kind of like have to put to Junpei, because his ability is kind of flexible as well. Not the best, not the worst.
無論、受けると言った以上、最善を尽くします。
I offer my hand. He has the firm grip of someone who's worked on the front lines of the law. A few days later, I receive a message informing me that the transport is to be on the 1st of May. It's on a school day, but since I've taken the job, there's nothing I can do about it. In fact, I should be glad that this didn't overlap with the extended holiday. So here it begins! I haven't heard the details, but I expected to have some important arrangement during Golden Week. The arrangement to reunite with my upperclassman, Narukami Yu, who was the leader of our group during last year's incident. I keep thinking about our reunion. It's only been 2 weeks since he left, but it feels much longer. Okay. I suppose that goes to show how much I'm looking forward to it. But I'm going off track. I need to think about my new job, so I hastily put myself together. Whenever I see Limo, like, I can't stop thinking about Velvet Room. May 1st. The cargo is due to be transported from a laboratory near the Kirijo mansion. I make my way to the mansion to present myself and end up accompanying the security detail. The limousine is incredibly long. Apparently, it isn't all that rare for the upper class in other countries to ride in cars this large, but it's downright comical on the tiny roads of Japan. That was where I met Kirijo Mitsuru in
はじ
person.
めまして。今回、立ち会い人を務めさせていただきます。白金直人です。
話は聞いている。こちらこそよろしく。桐城充だ。
Her beauty is enough to attract anyone's attention. Oh, please tell me, like, she went through rank 8 social link. She was so much less imposing than in the picture. Well, she should be. She should have went through rank 8. The reason why, if not, she'll be married to a scumbag.
立ち会い人がこれほど若いとは思わなかったな。
不安を与えてしまったでしょうか。
Persona!
決して君を侮ったわけじゃない。すまなかった。
But I think there's a difference. Because Naoto can only act, well, P4 members, they are only able to use their persona in the TV world. while the P3 members, P3 members only in their dark hour. But I think P3 is more freely though, because okay, I'm not sure about P3 if they have like a limitation, but I do know P4 they can't use their powers in real life. I take a look at Kirijo-san's face. Oh yeah, if it's 2008, right? Like the P3 members, they awaken. Of course, they are able to sense the dark hour. P4 members, they awoken like 2010, so they didn't experience dark hour. So we don't know if the P4 members, like, will they be able to interfere with the dark hour. But since we've taken down, the story in P3, dark hour is no more. I take a look at Kirijo-san's face. She's the only daughter of the founding family, but it's been 2 years since she renounced the practice of Kirijo group being run by the family. Oh, okay, that's interesting. In other words, she's simply CEO's daughter now, not the heir to the company. No, she's not the CEO daughter, she is the CEO. The father died. She must be used to constant stress being a female leader at such a young age. Getting people to acknowledge her must have been a struggle. I don't need to mince words in dealing with types like her. I decided to cut to the chase.
荷物の中身はどういったものなのですか？
お恥ずかしいことだが、研究していた当人が他界してしまって、今や我々にも詳しくわからない。そんな状態のものを都会の真ん中で抱えていて、毎日何かあってもいけない。そこで危険度が高いと記録されているものから順に離れた施設へ移していく予定だ。
I assume this is like Labres. I assume a natural decision. Her posture, her actions. If that was all an act, I must commend her for her ability to deal with the unexpected. But personally, my impression is that she's a trustworthy person. Before leaving, I had a chance to see Kirijo's mansion. I have to say, it's surprisingly simple. I felt as though it was prioritizing functions and efficiency over meaningless luxury, perhaps a reflection of her own personality. At any rate, her intelligence and presence are proof enough of her upbringing. If she was hiding something, it will be hard to figure out.
僕は警備の方と一緒に荷物のそばに。何かあればすぐにご連絡します。
わかった。よろしく頼む。不明なことがあれば遠慮なく聞いてくれて構わない。
Her eyes look straight at me, and I feel like she could see through anything. I end our conversation shortly after and quietly wait for us to arrive. Bookmark. Just long. 40 minutes. Well, Naoto's side always have to deal with a lot of speculation, so I kind of enjoy it. The limousine transport truck and multiple security cars reached the airport without any incident. The cargo may be dangerous, but according to the records, it was kept safely in storage for the past 10 years. Plus, it is worthless to the average person. Because of this, the people involved in the security don't look tense. Kirijo-san hands the servants her travel bag. It's as if she's simply going on a vacation. Yakushima is the private island that the Kirijo family owns. The plane's destination is one of the southern islands. I'm sure it'll be fun to go with everyone. I realize what I'm thinking and have to laugh to myself. A year ago, I never would have considered that it would be fun to spend time with others. But I can't help but think that way now. Soon they'll begin moving the cargo out of the truck. I clear my mind of daydreams and look back to the truck. They pass through the gate for large cargo shipments. The shipment is in imposing metal cases, but among all other shipping containers, it doesn't attract much attention from the airport staff. It's not long before the final case is unloaded from the truck. It's obviously different from the rest. It's covered from what seems to be heavy industrial grade steel. about a meter about a meter wide broad and 2.5 meters tall. Seems like something very special is in there, but even if someone was targeting the shipment, it would be impossible to steal that. Four men in suits slowly tip the case sideways to place it on the cart. Seeing it on the side reminds me of something. It looks like a coffin. The moment I realize that, a shiver runs down my spine. It does look big enough for a person to lie down in it. Could there really be someone inside? Could it be that this tight security is not to prevent theft, but to keep the cargo from escaping? No. How can I imagine things like this without any proof? I shake my head to clear it off these pointless thoughts. Am I just shaken because I heard this has something to do with shadows? Eventually, the check-in process is complete, and the announcement to begin boarding echoes through the airport. I relax a little, relieved that nothing has happened up to this point. Once the plane takes off, the only thing in our way is the sky. And this is just a reminder that in the background, okay, for the other characters, like there's a plane hijacked. Who hijacked it? I put on an earpiece tuned to the police radio to keep with the current situation. So far, nothing was out of the ordinary. Kirijo-san's group finished checking in and boarded the plane. The cargo should be loaded soon. I wonder if Akihiko is inside. After I supervised that, I checked in and suddenly an urgent voice jumped onto the broadcast.
7500
I have trouble mentally shifting gears after the long period of inactivity. Did she just land it? Okay, they boarded. They boarded. I supervised check-in. She just supervised the check-in, so I know like the plane shouldn't be taking off. I never imagined I would hear that number with my own ears.
まさかハイジャック
Is the plane I'm investigating being hijacked? That can't be a coincidence. Could this have been set up by the police or the Kirijo group? No. There's no benefit for either of them to get involved with the general public. So if that's the
ま
case,
さか荷物
there really is someone after the cargo. Wait, if they are after the cargo, why hijack the plane? If they're not trying to steal the cargo, could they be after Kirijo-san? No, that doesn't feel right. Hijacking isn't an efficient method to carry out kidnapping or an assassination. If they have the time and the resolve to pull this off, they would be far off better trying to take over their plane mid-flight. I can't figure out the objective. So the plane was hijacked on the tarmac? Why would they do something that attracts so much attention? Attention? This is very peculiar time to attempt to take over a plane. Very peculiar indeed. Hijacking before departure forfeits the biggest benefits of hijacking. But at the same time, all normal operation will come to a halt while everyone turns their focus on the plane in question. The airport will naturally stop loading baggages onto the plane while this hijacking goes on. It's the perfect distraction. So they are after the cargo.
もし荷物が狙いなら乗っ取りは最初から完全にブラフだったことになる荷物一つのために捨て身でハイジャックありえるのかそんなこと
As I scan the area from my viewpoint up in the boarding area. I see a van that had been parked near the cargo area suddenly peel out. A suspicious departure at this time? I have a bad feeling about this, but the cargo was just unloaded right in front of my eyes. I didn't see anyone steal it. Hold on. The four men in suits were with the handcart. I don't see them. I lost track of them in the rush of activity after the hijack call. I grab my teeth and interrupt the radio
こちら
call.
現場002現場より立ち去る不審車両あり追跡願います2トンロングサイズの大型車ナンバーは
I hear someone confirm with Roger, but there's shouting and confusion going on in the background. I'm unsure if my intention had been understood. I run across the airport by myself. I need to grab hold of these people's tail, even if it's only to get a few hairs. Of course, there's no way I can catch a vehicle on foot, but I have a plan. I run down the escalator and bolt for the passenger picking up at the arrivals lobby. I look around outside, and there it is, just as I thought. The suspicious vehicle was coming this way. The airport's road layout is a loop. After leaving the departure lobby, cars must take a turn and curve back around to the arrival lobby before being able to reach the surface streets. I hide in the crowd and wait for the van to get close. And as it passes by, I throw a small sticky lump. Luckily for me, it strikes and sticks low on the van side. There's a compact transmitter in there. We know that she can do that is because she made a special watch for you during Christmas. You have to be pretty close to pick up the signal, but it's better than nothing. I take my hat off and wipe off my forehead. The pedestrians around me begin to stir. Everyone stops and stares at their smartphones. I didn't need to look, I knew. The first news of the hijacking is hitting the media. I put my hat back on and pull the brim low. I have to be careful not to let all the information flying about confuse me. I keep my guard up as I quickly walk back to the departure lobby. Another 45 minutes pass without any more clear information. The information coming through. There's chaos on the radio and people are in panic. The weird thing that made me think about all of this, why are they using like commercial airport? I wouldn't be surprised if they use a private airport or even a military airport. But after an hour, the confusion suddenly stops and a shocking report comes in. Though some passengers were ill, there were no casualties. As far as I know, the hijackers didn't even make any demand. It's hard to think that the police could have negotiated with them. But on the other hand, there's no indication that the special assault team had stormed the plane. The government is in this! Oh my god, conspiracy brain. Did the group surrender? Now that the decoy objective was now complete? Just then, a radio call came in directly from me. Huh? Very fishy.
追跡はどうなっていますか？
現在 N システムで追跡中だ。今後の対処を話し合う。すぐにゲストルームへ向かってくれ。
What about Mitsuru? Where is she? It looks like my call to report that suspicious van had not been a mistake.
了解です。
But did she tell about the transmitter? Soon after, the involved parties were gathered in the conference room. Hirijo-san and the police are talking hurriedly. A good number of this quickly put together team was not aware of the confidential nature of this matter. I imagine things won't be proceeding so smoothly. At any rate, the van on the run can be tracked to the N system. What is the N system? The hijackers were handed over to the airport police, while those of us who knew the truth about the cargo were moved to one of her buildings.
随分とスピーディーな解決でしたね。最短でも半日くらいはと思っていましたが。
なんというか、特殊技能を持つ者に動いてもらったといったところだな。もっとも人質に被害はなかったが、
Aegis.
2を奪われてしまった。
仕方ないでしょう。まさか荷物一つのためにハイジャックなんて予想しませんよ。こちらこそ申し訳ありません。僕が一番近くにいたのに。
いや、十分さ。不審者の追跡が間に合ったのは君がいたからだ。
I really think that the government is in this. But Mitsuru, the weird thing is that she's surprisingly calm. Like, I understand that she's more mature, but during this time she will have outbursts if I'm not
あの混
mistaken.
乱の中で荷物が狙いと気づいて犯行車両を見つけ出したのは見事な手柄だ。
Wait, is that Windows XP? I think it is. It's Windows XP. Oh, god damn, that's nostalgic.
ありがとうございます。あとは確保された犯人グループの取り調べと合わせて。
それがそうスムーズにはいかないようだ。まだ詳しくは聞けていないが、取り調べは予想外に難航しているらしい。時間がかかりそうだ。
彼らはいわば捨て身の覚悟だったわけですから、たやすく口は割らないでしょうね。
我々のミスだ。正直遺産そのものが周囲に被害を及ぼさないようにとばかり考えていた。
ですがこれだけ特殊なものを狙った以上、犯人像も絞り込まれるでしょう。
霧城に連なるものの犯行という可能性も否定できないな。白金くん、世話になった。とんだ騒ぎに巻き込んでしまったが、ここからは専門の組織が担当する。
Professional. In other words, she planned to investigate this herself as a shadow
僕
operative.
の仕事はここまでということですか。
すまないな。これまでの協力には感謝している。
Ah, she doesn't know now to have persona. If she knows, she would definitely ask for help. This is a bit of a pickle. The Kirijo group and the police want to keep this under wraps. That is, they cannot open a public investigation. On top of that, the shadow operatives are technically an organization working for the police. There's no room for freelancers here, which means there's no need for me to be involved in the investigation any further. Insisting to stay on this case would only draw attention. With no other choice, I decided to take my leave. Really? Really? It must have been chaos at the office. Despite the unusual events, the man who hired me has not yet gotten in touch. I entertained the thought of returning home to Inaba, but luckily enough, I brought enough luggage for a short trip out of town. I decided to stay the night at a business hotel near the airport and wait for a while for the client to contact me. Time passes. Around this time she should receive a call. Well, at midnight she should receive a call from one of the group members. Time passes. At 9 o'clock, I finally receive a phone call from the man.
知っての通り予想外のことになった。今回の件は以後シャドウワーカーが捜査に当たる。
そうなるとこれ以上の内偵続行は難しいかと。
だが現状最も霧城に接近できている内偵者は君だ。ハイジャックの件で信頼を得たとも聞いている。君には続行をお願いしたい。なんとか不自然でない形でこの件と再度関われるよう今手配中だ。
何をさせる気ですか。スパイのようなことは。
追って連絡する。
He hangs up without waiting for my reply. I sigh. I feel a weight in my heart. This has a high possibility of turning into a private investigation from the shadows. Pretty much a polite way of saying corporate espionage. If I'm to take on this job, I need to have some sort of plan. At any rate, I cannot plan my movements without knowing how the situation is progressing. It would be far better to prepare for tomorrow instead of getting worked up with worrying. I read the newspaper and watch some TV coverage of today's events and go to bed early. Midnight. The day passes, and even by the night of May 2nd, the man has not yet contacted me again. It seems the police have having trouble zeroing in on the suspicious vehicle. Considering the skill with which the crime was pulled off, I wouldn't be surprised if that van had been dumped somewhere and the cargo loaded to another vehicle. Going through all the possibilities, this is just a way to kill time. But it's the only thing I had to do. Nothing happened until the sky began to darken and the sun went down. But it was already 9 PM, so is this like May 9? The May 2nd night? My phone finally rang. But surprisingly, the name on the screen brought a smile to my face.
はい、白金です。
もしもし、ナオトくん？今お仕事の邪魔じゃない？
Oh yeah, it happened on May 2nd. Is when they watched the midnight channel. May 2nd, so another like May 3rd midnight.
構いませんよ。
遅くにごめんね。明日のこと一応もう一回聞いとこうと思って。
That's right. So much has been happening at that, I completely forgot about the school holiday starting tomorrow. And of course, we are supposed to have our reunion with Yu Senpai when he visits the city tomorrow. I was supposed to be able to meet up with them. I didn't imagine I'd be stuck in here for 3 days thanks to the attempted hijacking of at the airport. But since I've undertaken the job, I have obligations that I can't just abandon. I'm starting to actually feel some anger towards whoever the culprits
す
are.
みません。やはり行けそうにないです。実は今も稲葉を出ていて。
そっか、そういえば言ってたもんね。なら雨でも無理か。
雨でも無理。
こっちの話。
Huh? What was that?
仕方ないよ。直人くんの力がないと困る人がいるんだもん。助けてあげて。
Naoto is smart enough to like listen even if it's raining, because one thing about the Midnight Channel, it only appears in Inaba, supposedly, but that is the work of the final boss of P4. I wouldn't be surprised that the Midnight Channel extends way over Inaba.
ええ。まあ。
Help them out, huh? It irritates me to know that what I'm going to do is pretty much spy
本
work.
当に残念です。先輩たちによろしく伝えてください。
わかった。頑張ってね。
I hang up the phone, seeing my dear senpai again. I feel that that's much more important than a job with an uncertain outcome, and I feel a little sad I'm going to miss it. Maybe I should just turn the case down and make a surprise visit
間に
tomorrow.
合う電車何時だろう。
She can just call her butler. But it looks like the case is not about to let me leave. After my talk with Chie-san, I began to prepare for bed. Wait, is it? And that's when the public safety official called me again.
内定続行の意図がなんとかつながりそうだ。桐城満からとある協力要請が入った。それに応じ、明日黒沢という刑事が向かう。彼の車に同乗して現地入りしてもらう。
Kurosawa? That's the police guy on P3. When I asked about this Kurosawa fella, I received an unexpected answer. Apparently, he had helped Kirijo activities on his own while he was constable. Even though his superiors didn't understand what Kirijo was up to, he followed his instinct and helped her to protect his town. Normally, he would be punished for this, but the situation took a 180 degrees turn thanks to the establishment of the Shadow Operative. Not only that, he actually sold us weapons. His knowledge has been invaluable, and rather than being disciplined, he had been promoted to plainclothes detective.
から協力データ桐城の情報を君にリークさせる。
よく承知してくれましたね。かつては桐城さんたちに協力していたんでしょ。
奴にも何か思惑があるようだ。それは君が直接聞けばいい。
I confirmed several other details before ending the call. Detective Kurosawa. If he's working with the Kirijo group, it could be something of a problem. But if they have information to leak, that means they must have located the vehicle in question. Still, considering how long it took them to find it, it may be in for a long trip. Where am I going to be sent now? Inaba. I shrugged to myself. Inaba, right? The next day, May 3rd, I met with Detective Kurosawa. I expected someone who looked shadier, but the man appeared hardworking and honest.
白金直人です。お世話になります。
噂は聞いてるぜ、少年探偵。よろしく頼む。
We make our greeting brief, and I get into Detective Kurosawa's car. A private investigation in a location that I have no prior knowledge or experience of. This was a depressing job in the first place, and the addition of more and more unknown variables is only making me more displeased with it.
浮かない顔だ。
いえ、そんなことは。我々の行き先はどこです？
強奪に使われた車が見つかった場所。稲葉市八十稲葉だ。
Dun, dun,
昨年妙な連続殺人があったばかりだってのに、物騒なこったな。
八十稲葉？
なんだ、お前さん地元なんだろ？だから行くって話じゃないのか。
I'm at a loss for words, but Detective Kurosawa continues instead of waiting for me to reply. I'm actually eating Subway right now.
シャドウワーカーから俺への依頼はその連続殺人についての情報収集の協力だ。要は当時の担当刑事に会って事件の詳細を聞いてきてくれってことだ。連中公安な上に非公式部隊だからな。地方の所轄相手じゃすんなり話なんか聞けない。
なぜ今度の強奪事件と何か関係が？
公安なめるなよ。連中は平時でもシャドウ絡みの騒ぎがないか基礎調査をしてる。稲葉氏は今札付きなんだよ。そこへあんな遺産が運ばれたとなりゃ当然関係を疑う。
If there is a connection that it might be related to our case, I begin to have ominous thoughts and my expression darkens, but Detective Kurosawa doesn't probe into that topic. Perhaps he's the type of person who don't judge people based on evidence, but gets a feel for them through conversation and actions. Why am I reflecting in his eyes? I can't help but wonder. Huh? Detective Kurosawa goes inside the Inaba police station while I wait in the car near the junkyard. A familiar sight of Inaba seems strange somehow. And there's that. A giant TV. The detective in charge of this case must be none other than Dojima-san. Of course it's Dojima-san. Detective Dojima Ryotaro. Of course, I'm familiar with him. And not just through our profession. Dojima-san acted as Yu Senpai's guardian while he stayed in Inaba. I feel like I'm betraying him as well, and I can't stop myself from sighing again. Soon enough, Detective Kurosawa steps out of the station. I thought he was coming back, but halfway to the car, he turns and walks into the junkyard. I wonder what he's doing. I stick my head out the window and try to track him. There's another car parked behind a pile of junk. That distinctive grill style. That's Kirijo-san's limousine. I hurriedly pull my head back into the car. That's right, Detective Kurosawa came to cooperate with Kirijo-san. But still, to bring me along a park so close to her is... So this is where they enter the TV world. I don't know if the P3 members, in other words like Mitsuru, is able to enter the TV world by herself. But if Naoto is the one that dragged them in, then it makes sense. Then again, it's very unnatural to park far from the rendezvous point. Detective Kurosawa made the right decision. I calmed down and slid into the rear seat, keeping my head low. Still, Kirijo-san uses that black limousine while undertaking her shadow operative duties as well. That car sticks out like a sore thumb here in Inaba. Heck, it's distinctive anywhere in Japan. Why would someone as clever as Kirijo-san take that car on a special mission like this? Does she have some profound reasoning behind it? Let me guess, Aegis isn't it? After a while, Detective Kurosawa finally comes back to the car.
黒沢さん、一つだけ聞かせてください。なぜ公安に協力を？
今頃か。最初に聞かれるかと思ってたな。
It looks damn shady man without the police attire. After wiping a dry smile from his face, Detective Kurosawa turns to me with an incredibly serious
キリジ
expression.
ョー充やシャドウワーカーを探っても後ろ暗いところなどない。だがそれが理解されるには遅かれ早かれ一度徹底的に疑われる手順が必要だ。となれば四角四面の役人よりお前みたいな物分かりの良さそうなのに探ってもらった方がいい。それ
Wait,
だけだ。
are you telling me this is all planned out by the Mitsuru group as well? This whole hijacking thing? I doubt it, because Labris did escape. So he does have his reasons
ご
after
協
all.
力感謝します。
あとは頼む。
I exited the vehicle. Kurosawa-san takes his car on the highway and speeds out of sight. He has no doubts whatsoever regarding Kirijo-san's activities. To be honest, I'm inclined to agree with him, but I can't jump to conclusion without any evidence. I use heaps of junk as cover to sneak close to the limousine and watch. Not long after, I see two people exit the vehicle. One of them is Kirijo-san. However, unlike when I saw her at the airport, she's wearing equipment likely suited for combat. The other person looks
ま
strange.
さかあれが人型兵器。
There was information about a humanoid weapon mixed in with all the data I had about the Kirijo group. When I first saw it, I was confused. But that had to be what was standing in front of me. It seems natural, almost lifelike, but there's no denying it's an artificial construct. It seems that the rumors of an unorthodox anti-shadow unit were true. Another man seemed come to join them soon. Why is he wearing any shirts? He too was dressed in outlandish attire. He was shirtless, why? And wore a red cloak like a desert nomad. A perfect example of someone who ought to be detained for questioning. I compare his face to the list of pictures of the people involved in the situation. While his taste in clothing has changed, I believe this man is another Akiko. I can't imagine that would possess what would possess him to go dressed like that, but I speculate about their actions. What business do they have here in the junkyard? There's nothing here but a pile of broken household electronics and abandoned televisions. Then it hits me. Detective Kurosawa had told Kirijo-san about last year's incidents. And of course, she has prior knowledge about personas and shadows. Then there's no doubt she heard of the idea of entering the TV world. Right now, the members should all be in the TV world. Okay, if you remember, the P3 members came like halfway. Okay, so like, let's say like there's 5 fights, right? They come in like after like the 3rd fight or so. So assuming that the time is connected, this is around the time they'll be entering. After all, it appears many times in the testimony of the killer from last year. Dojima-san may have disregarded it from being too far-fetched, but Detective Kurosawa must have caught on. I take a closer look. There's a mountain of old television sets. Victims of last year's switch to digital broadcasts. Oh yeah. Like, during this time, it was like, before you use manual transmission, something in it, and then they switched to digital broadcasting. That's what caused a lot of TV to be scrapped.
もしかしてここからテレビの中に。
Even as I say that, the mechanical girl has her hand sticking into a TV screen. It's exactly as I thought. So they can enter. So assuming if we go back in time and we have the Dark Hour, Naoto and the rest should be able to experience the Dark Hour. The mere fact that they were testing in what they heard so recently cannot bode well. Uncertainty crosses my mind. The 3 of them are clearly preparing to enter the television. Should I blow my cover and wonder about what they are doing? If they enter, they may not be able to leave. But the other world should no longer be dangerous anymore. But you still cannot get out, because Teddy is the one that got us out before this. And I heard from Yosuke senpai that he asked Teddy to leave the exit TV out just in case. Even if they are Persona users, they should be able to handle the shadows. They shouldn't be put in any peril, but Hiryu-san made a decision faster than accurate. Oh.
他の隊員は車に残していく。
あ、全員で突っ込んで何かあったら目も当てられないしな。
それを言うなら私たちも誰か残るべきなんだがな。
残りません。
この3人で十分だ。一気に片をつける。問題ない。
相変わらずだな。だが、向こうがどうなっているのかまるでわからない。油断はするな。
はい。
この雰囲気、懐かしい感じだな。
行こう。
Naoto.
なぜテレビにどういうことだ
Okay, they mentioned about other members, right? There are still other members here. We do have
まさか奪われた遺産はテレビの中に
there are other members, like just now I say the other members should left in the car. We have Junpei, we have Yukari, we have Koromaru and Ken. Okay? And depending on how P3 goes, like Metis might even be inside the car. Might. But if Metis is there, if they take Metis as canon, she should be joining as well. So in other words, it's not really canon, maybe. Or she could just be waiting inside. Right, chase after them now. Even if I turn back here, we may never be able to find the three of them again. And if that happens, the truth of the case will be lost forever. If a property was placed into a TV world, it means that whoever stole it knows the truth about last year's events. And if that's the case, then I can't ignore this, no matter what my assigned task is. There's also another person that kind of like caught my curiosity, which is Adachi. Is Adachi behind this? Because Adachi is also a Persona user. Plus,
初めてテレビに入るあの人たちが覚悟を決めたのに僕だけここで引き下がるのは不本意だな
I realized that the straw breaking the camel's back is not my logic, but my pride. I smiled to myself, but my mind was made up. I stand up, look around, then step inside the same television they use. Oh, she's entering. It's been a while since I felt this falling sensation. But this time, the sensation continues longer than it did when I entered the TV world as part of the investigation team. Before I know, the falling has ended. I take cover behind a pillar and look around the three shadow operatives. Did I lose them? We all entered from the same television, so we should arrive in the same place. I relax a little and take a look around. When I stand up, I notice, but it's difficult to believe. I take a good hard look. This is a school, and not only that, but
八十神高等学校どうなってるんだ
this is the gate to the school I attended. The familiar school building is inside, but there's something unfamiliar out in front. There's a stack of strange monitors. They are all displaying the words P-1 Grand Prix. Oh, she haven't watched the video. This place looks like the real world, but there's something warped about it. It feels like the world is dangerous again, like it was like while we were investigating the incident. But this world has returned to the way it was before. While I'm thinking this, the students came out walking out of the building. They gathered together, and soon the area is filled with people.
そんなバカなテレビの中にこんな人数
Suddenly, the students surround me and started cheering. I see an all too familiar burst of static display across the monitors. Oh, she's gonna see it.
それは強敵と書いて友と読む高校生同士の決死の格闘番組新たな伝説が今幕を開ける可愛い七子は誰にも渡さん鋼のセスコン番長鳴神優当然です錆びれた田舎を踏み台に大英雄に俺はなるキャプテンズサンチマン花村陽介退屈なものは全部ぶっ壊す女を捨てた肉食獣男勝りの足技系ドラゴン里中千恵
肉を食べなさい肉を
私をリングに連れてって難攻不落の黒雪姫天城ユキコ
一撃で仕留める
バラと肉体の狂い咲き戦慄のガチムチ皇帝辰巳漢字もっと奥まで突入子供頭脳は化け物 IQ2000 の KY 探偵白金直人
バカ軍団ですか。
戦えたった一つの生き残りの座をかけて激闘 P-1 グランプリ今宵開戦
He's gonna be pissed. Ta-da! Kill Joy Detective? Yeah. Wait. Did it really say that? Bakagun? 空気が読めない鑑定。Killjoy Mechanics. More like a detective that can't read the room. The shock leaves me dumbfounded for a while. Plus, you senpai, Shisco Banzo. Well, it's true that it's true that he's no. Calm down, Naoto. Calm down and analyze the situation. This otherworldly program, where the real people's foibles are exaggerated to unworldly proportions, the static before the video made it very clear. This broadcast could only be the Midnight Channel. And what's with this frightening tournament about? The members of the investigation teams are the combatants?
まるでクマくんが主催者みたいになってたけど。
All of us know that Senpai is coming back to Inaba during the Golden Week. Then could this be some kind of way to welcome him back? No. Calling him a Siscon Bancho, that's not a welcome, that's a challenge. Who would publicize a negative nickname like that? Besides, whatever the reason, I can't imagine that someone would seriously want us all to fight each other. What is going on? Does it mean that the rest of them are in the TV world as well? Without warning, the sound of microphone feedback pierces my ears.
Hachiko boys and girls! お待たせしました。
この声、藤川さん。
The student goes wild. On the monitors, Teddy appears to be wearing some sort of costume.
ここに P-1 グランプリの開催を宣言するクマ。
Looks like Lisa and Teddy are the ones running this. Do they really plan on holding this P1 Grand Prix?
お待ちかね。第一戦目の挑戦者の登場よ。
If that promotional video is correct, then the members of the investigation team are going to show up. Just as I lean forward to see what's going on, the spotlight shines directly onto my face, blinding me.
ナオト、白金。
The students around me raise their fists to the air and shout. This is a pickle. I can see that I won't be able to chase Kirijo-san down at this rate. First the plane hijacking, and now another unforeseen interruption.
ナオちゃん、いらっしゃい。
クマくん、これは何なんですか？
さっきの映像見たでしょ。見ての通り、格闘大会クマよ。
それはわかりますが、なぜこんなことをと聞いているんです。仲間同士で戦うなんて冗談にも程があるでしょう。
冗談なんかじゃないクマよ。クマはいつでも全力投球 100%。さあ、ナオちゃん、全力で戦うクマ。
わけがわからないよ。それに今は。
Whoa. While I'm speaking, I see the arrow in front of me twist. This is different. I close my eyes at once. When I open them, I see that the only certain things around me have been warped, whatever that was. The screen on the monitors, the students around me. I blink and rub my eyes, and I soon realize that my eyes aren't playing tricks on me.
何なんだ。この生徒たちは何者かに見せられている幻覚。
With With their skins missing, the students have become dark shapes that only resemble a human form. Are these shadows of some sort? I do find it hard to believe that so many people could have wandered into the TV world. Even if this many people did get in here, the town would be in an uproar over the mass disappearance of so many students. I need to lower down the volume. It's a bit too loud. It makes more sense for them to be shadows, but if that's the case, why did I see them as students? Could it be? Teddy and Lise do both have power to interfere with people's thoughts to a certain extent. It may be possible for them to projecting illusions into my mind, but that would prove that the two of them are really the hosts of the show. I decide not to jump to any conclusion for now. Even if the two of them are behind this, why would they hold a tournament and deceive me with illusions? I won't be able to figure out anything until I determine what their objective is. As I'm considering my next course of action, Teddy, or General Teddy, speaks directly at me. This is getting nowhere. Talking to him isn't helping me figure out what's going on here. She definitely had to fight with Kanji. Either the first or the last. Well, she would definitely have to fight Kanji sooner or later. Another spotlight appears across from me. A person steps out from the darkness. It's... off the bat?
約束してたろゴールデンウィークには戻るってもしかして忘れてた
いえもちろん覚えてますただその本当にここにいるとは
Oh snap, they're going with you as Naoto's like lover from the looks of it.
それはこっちもさこんなところで会うなんてな仕事でいないって聞いてたの
ええ実はその仕事絡みでここに
Oh, here it comes, here it comes.
僕自身も驚いていて
Here it comes.
相変わらず付き合い悪いんだ
Huh? What did he just say?
なみんな言ってたよ友達だと思ってるのナオトにとってはそうじゃないみたいだ
そんなことありません今回はたまたま仕事で留守にしていただけですそれより今は
The way she panicked, it's just... The way she panicked is just basically like showing that she's interested in him. So I don't think like this is the route where she goes with Kanji.
仕事結局一番大事なのは仕事ってわけだ今だって俺たちがどうなったかよりも仕事の続きが気になってるんだろああそうか仕事と割り切れない人付き合いは本音じゃ負担踏み込まれたくないわけか
先輩
He's not the type of person to speak so poorly of others, is he? Is this an illusion
心
too?
配しなくても大好きな仕事に戻れるよリタイアさせてやるよ今すぐ
He summoned his persona. Izanagi!
本気ですか
Senpai attacked me with his persona. That wasn't an illusion, it was real. If he hit me, I would have been seriously hurt. But now I know something. He's clearly not in the right mind right now. The leader of the investigation team would never, under any circumstances, harm his
こんな
friends.
再会になってしまいましたね仕方ありません
Like, I like Naoto in P4 because she's the buffer of the game. And her final ability is like really, really amazing. How do I shoot? Bookmark. My shoulders heave as I gasp for breath. I managed to win, but Senpai was as strong as ever.
ナオト大丈夫か
はい。
Senpai stands up and offers me his hand as I sit down on the ground. Despite the fact that he was hurt worse than I was, the look in his eyes shows that he's seriously worried about me. He's a completely different person from that person I saw before the battle. Yes, this is the person I
よ
know.
かったいえ先輩こそ大丈夫ですかすみませんこんな事態とはいえあなたを傷つけるなんて
あいつものナオトだ
いつも
What's that supposed to mean? I wondered about the use of his word usual, but there are more important matters at hand.
これって一体何が起きているんですか
Give me a moment, I'll take some water. Okay. I'm at a loss for words. The Midnight Channel started to air again. The video I saw was the promotional video for something called the P-1 Grand Prix. Apparently it had been shown a few times before I saw it. Wait, that video? It was shown all over town? No. Now's not the time to let that sort of thing discourage me. According to you, Senpai, not only did the Midnight Channel make a comeback, but several of us, Kanji-kun, Teddy, and Lisa-san has gone missing. Senpai and the others entered the TV as soon as to investigate this.
景色が一変してたから
ええですが一部はどうも幻覚のようです
幻覚
現に戦う前に群がっていた学生たちは見ての通り本物の人間じゃありませんでした
確かになシャドウのような違うような敵意は感じなかったけど
藤川さんや熊くんの件も幻覚かと思いましたが謎の行方不明しかも二人の能力を考えると
I pat myself off. Senpai shakes his head in response.
本物って可能性はあるでも信じよう幻を操る敵ならあの二人も被害者かもしれない
そうですね僕も信じます
I raise my head to look at Senpai who is watching me. Our eyes meet and I hurriedly look away. Yes!
そういえばナオトはどうしてここに
それは
There's the question. Well, it's only natural. but I'm here on business and not anything personal. Cannot disclose the details of my investigation. Not only are these are the rules, but if I spoke up, I would end up getting him involved. I have to avoid that at all costs. As I'm deciding what to say,
とにかく会えてよかった。
そのすみません。
どうした急に。
だから付き合い悪くて。でも決して友達より仕事が大事とかそういうんじゃなくて。
別にそんな風に思ったことなんてない。みんなだってきっとそうさ。
先輩。
はいはい、いい雰囲気のとこ邪魔するクマよ。
クマくん。
勝者はナオちゃんクマね。最強の先生を倒すなんてやる。さあナオちゃんは先に進むクマ。次の対戦の準備はもう万端クマよ。
when I switch over, the monitor shuts off. The next opponent, huh? I'd rather not continue this charade, but I have no choice. But I have to push forward in order to get a hold of the situation.
そろそろ行きましょう。
Your senpai nods reassuringly. I feel a sense of relief welling up within me. I can't let my guard down, but knowing that senpai is with me to help me face whatever lies ahead, I know I have nothing to fear, or so I thought. Senpai is walking next to me when he suddenly stopped.
どうなってる？ナオトは通れるの？
A wall? There's nothing there. I wave my hand through the place where Senpai said he couldn't pass, but I don't feel anything. But Senpai doesn't look like he's faking it. The monitor turns on again. Teddy face fills the screen.
あれクマ言い忘れちゃったかな。次のステージへ進めるのは勝者だけ。優勝者が決まるまで誰もこの学校の外へは出さんクマ。戦って最後の勝利者になった者だけがようやく自由を手に入れるクマよ。
言い換えれば嫌でも潰し合わなきゃどちらも出られないってわけか。先に行ってくれナオト。俺もなんとか方法を探す。
わかりました。先輩も気をつけてください。
なあ、また後で。
I'm hesitant to leave Senpai behind, but I can't be helped. I'd like to try to destroy the wall, but there's nothing I can do if I can't touch it. With Senpai smiling at me, I decide to go on ahead. It looks like no matter how many people I fight, I have to progress on by myself. After some walking, I run smack into something, even though there's nothing there. I didn't realize what was going on at first, but I soon came to realize something. So this is one of those invisible walls Senpai was talking about. It seemed that some of them won't allow anyone to pass no matter who wins the fight. It's completely transparent. The only way to know that is to feel its glass-like smoothness. I have no choice but to take a detour. But time after time, these walls keep getting in my way. I'm not choosing my path, I'm being herded. I suppose I'm following some plan laid out by whoever set this up. After I opened the door to the gym, I saw a space cleared away for that. As I expected, General Teddy appears on the monitor.
ナオちゃん遅い。3名の対戦相手がお待ちかねクマ。
I bet this one
何度も言いま
before.
すけど、僕には仲間と戦う気は。
はい、じゃあ行くクマ。対戦者出てこいクマ。
Hey yo!
Oh, kanji! I didn't expect it to be good.
辰巳くん。
Oh, what the hell? It's that kanji. But it looks like it only looks that way.
さ考えたんだけどさ、ナオチって話し方で損してると思うわけよ。
I thought I was ready to face anyone, but this isn't a matter of being in my right mind or not. Is this an illusion? Oh, please let this one be an illusion.
丁寧っつうか堅苦しいっつうかなんか他人行儀でよ距離感じるっつうかよ
Since when?
そうでしょうか。
ほらそういうの今のもそうかなぐらいでよ
Since when is kanji into hip hop?
そうかな。
やればできんじゃんよ今のでぐっと親近感
どうも。
Seriously, it's like a hip hop.
っていうか、僕が近づく以前に、そっちがもう50馬身ぐらい離れてる気がしますけど。
へいまた戻ってんじゃん何しますけどって
すみません、つい癖で。
それともあれなわけ俺らとなんか距離縮めなくていいとか思ってるわけ別にそんな親しくならなくてもいいってわけ
そんなこと思ってますないよ。お
てめえがそうやって垣根高くしてっからいつまでも打ち解けねえんだろ
うわ、キャラが剥がれた。
何かてめえに自信がなくて触れられたくねえっつうアピールか
辰巳くん。
They may be false accusation, but some of those statements are hitting home. I can't brush off these words and my heart aches.
何に自信がねえんだタッパかガタイか男らしいと思えねえってかだったら俺が一から鍛え直してやんよああ食いしばれおら
Oh, that's his famous line.
ちょっと待ってください。まだ何もって。ああ、もう。
Oh. Oh, damn it. Huh? Grab it. Uh-oh. Oh, damn it. Damn it. Man, that's a lot. That's a lot. No! I guess you really need the awaken. But the weird thing is I could use the finisher without being awakened with other characters.
辰巳くん、大丈夫ですか？
足りねえだろうおめえの攻撃なんざへでもねえんだよちょっと油断しただけだ
I don't know if he's acting tough or trying to be courteous to me, but at least he's back to the usual Kanji-kun. The usual Kanji-kun. Usual? Wait, didn't you senpai say that too? Well, at the very least it seemed that the spell is broken once the battle ends. I let out a sigh of relief. Still, for some reason, Kanji-kun has yet to look this way.
本当に平気ですか？音信不通だと聞いていたけど、なぜここに？
なぜってそりゃちょっと気分転換に
気分転換にテレビに？何かあったんですか？僕でよければ話を聞きますけど。
There's also the Naoto that don't know how to like read the room and like keep on getting closer to Kanji when he's nervous.
話なんてねえよいやお前と話したくねえとかじゃなくていや別に話してとかでもなくてとにかく男には 一人でテレビに入りたい時だってあんだよ。
That's just a long time when a man wants to go to TV by himself. Who the hell says that?
よくわからないんだけど。
しつけえな。俺だって好きで入ったんじゃ。いや入ったんだよ。好きで。
When Kanji-kun turns around, his face is red, but with anger or something
そ
else.
んな顔が真っ赤になるほど大声で主張しなくても。
赤くねえよ。おめえが悪いんだろうが。あれをあんな風に。
僕が。
Oh.
何の話ですか？
言わせんのかよ。あんなん正気なのが疑っちまうっつんだよ。
正気って僕には辰巳くんの方がはるかに僕のことをなおちとかなんとか。
なおち？青だ。
待てよ。正気を失う？
I saw Kanji-kun as if he's gone mad, but he saw me as the same. And yet, both of us claimed that we hadn't gone crazy. I get it. That's why you senpai called me the usual Naoto.
そうか。幻覚。やはり僕たちは互いに相手が正気を失っているという幻覚を見せられていたんだと思います。だから後から話が噛み合わなかったんだ。
幻覚だ？
おそらく親しい者同士を争わせる策でしょう。でもだとすると
It's not as simple as the person I have to fight being crazy. You senpai and Kanji-kun both said things that dig deep into my personal problems. If these are illusions, when whoever creating them has to be someone who knows
相手
us.
の近くに割り込む能力、僕らについての知識、
Rise.
ここまで揃ってしまうとやっぱり
なんだよ。
主催者を気取っている熊くんと藤川さんはやはり本当の。
バカなわけあるかよ。
I look up to Kanji-kun in surprise.
熊子とリセは偽物だ。あんなひん曲がった奴らじゃねえ。お前だって知ってんだろ。
He doesn't have any proof, but his unshakable trust in us sets me at ease. Even if I told him that Rise and Teddy are both missing, I'm sure his answer won't change.
だとしたら誰が？
おう、そういや俺ら以外にも誰か嫌がるみてえだぜ。道すがら見かけた女だった。長い髪のな。
女？その人はもしかして白い毛皮を着て下には特殊装備の。
毛皮？だそりゃ。八校の普通の女子の制服だ。髪型はこう後ろで言ってあるみてえな。
結髪の女子生徒？知らない人物だな。
I thought he might have run into Kirijo-san, but that doesn't appear to have been the case. Is that girl Kanji-kun talking about a suspect?
わかり
I
ました。
can't tell for sure.
気に留めておきます。では僕はそろそろ。
待てよ、俺も。ってなんだこりゃ。
The invisible wall again. Just like last time, I can't touch it
どう
myself.
やら勝者しか進めないルールみたいです。後で助けに来ますから。
いらねえよ、自力でなんとかすら。おめえこそ俺を任しやがったんだ。きっちり優勝をもぎ取ってきやがれよ。
それ話が完全にずれてるから。
I leave Kanji-kun behind and push on ahead. We're being shown illusions that portray our opponents as having lost their senses. But why is the host of this tournament going to such elaborate lengths? Obviously, it's to get people who know each other to fight. But is that the only goal? Still, I wonder how I have appeared to Senpai and Kanji-kun. Okay, so if you remember with Labyrinth, so far that we know, she kind of like have to go through like a grueling like process where she had to like eliminate other people like her, like her friends and stuff. So this is like her payback, in a sense. But is she the person behind this, or like is she receiving a power so that she can amplify that and make that a reality? Oh well. I'm not that worried about Senpai, but I'm thinking about Kanji-kun's reaction. How he had blushed. It's burning a hole in my stomach. This is like a love triangle, you know? Like, you is neutral towards both of them, right? But then, like, Liu is neutral to both of them, and Naoto likes you, okay? And Kanji likes Naoto, and at the same time, like, mad respects for you. And then now Naoto towards Kanji is like question mark. As I walked down the hall, I came to another likely location for a match. Just as I figured, Teddy appears on the screen.
今度の相手は特別ゲストクマ飛び入り参加のお嬢様感動の再会クマでなおちゃん
Okay, it's Mitsuru.
対戦者出てこいクマ
霧城さん、
君は白金くんか。なぜここに。君は確か。
参ったな。こんなに早く鉢合わせるなんて。
You know one thing? The weird part is that I feel like the reveal for both of them is also one thing, but I wonder if like both of them are sane, you know? Either do they get trapped in the, you know, illusion? The purpose of this event is to have the participants fight, and because there's only one path to take, I figured we would run into each other sooner or later. I never imagined it would be this early on though. No, there's something else I need to be concerned with. Like the previous time, the opponents will not be seeing each other correctly. With that in mind, I watch her closely. As I expected, I see a change in her. Mitsuru-san's face twists into an expression of contempt and her composure shatters.
切れたな。こんな場所まで来ているとは。
I don't reply. There's no point in saying anything, after all.
目して語らずか。自分を偽っている君が他人の真実を探るプロとはなんとも滑稽だな。君は柔和なようでいてどこか人を寄せつけない雰囲気がある。初対面の時からそう思っていた。初めは探偵業独特の空気なのかと思っていたが、そうじゃなかったようだ。君は単純に自分に自信がないんだ。
I had some trouble staying
君
silent.
は自分の本性を隠している。そこに触れられると誇りが守れなくなるのを知っているからだ。だから誰にも触れさせない。探偵業にかこつけて誰からも距離を取り、実は自分を守っている。そんな君が他人の真実だけは知りたいのか。自己矛盾、アンフェアだ。肩払いたいの。
I clenched my fists in spite of myself.
そうだ。
Uh-oh. Kirijo-san's relentless words. Even if it's only an illusion, I began to feel that if I lose, I'll never be able to look in her in the eye again. I cannot lose
言
here.
いたいことはありますが、やめておきましょう。厳格の語った言葉なんかに答える意味はありません。
I do feel that it could be true though. Nah, I don't save. I can defeat her. Just the next one. Probably we're gonna be receiving a choice soon.
Round final.
ペルソナ行かせてもらう。行かせてもらう。行く。
God damn. Nice. Damn. Damn it. The fact that the revolver only have like 5 bullets, it's really like it's really limiting.
Round final.
Wait, what's up with the? If you notice, there's like an icon under her persona. Oh, controller has been disconnected. What the heck? Controller has been disconnected? What the heck? Halfway the contact. Shit.
Round final.
The reach is pretty long. Controller has been disconnected again? What the heck? Can you give me a moment? I think I'm gonna like... I'm using a wireless controller, okay? So I'm gonna connect it. Come on. Just a moment. Let me just make sure that it's connected properly. See, is it connected properly? Controller has been disconnected. Oh. Oh my god, it's vibrating hell. Uh-oh. It's vibrating like crazy. Uh-oh. Oh, there's so many things on my table. Moment. This is it. Okay, I pull out the... Oh, come on. Just a moment. I'm trying to like connect it to the wire, but when I connect it to the wire, it just like rumble on and on and on. What about now? Because this charges my controller as well. Let me see. Will this connect it? Okay, I think it connects it. Okay, just give me another moment. Let me reset my camera. Okay. Should be fine now. Huh? It's not moving. Huh? Okay. Should be working fine now. There. Ah! The controller.
Round final. Fight!
お互い気をつけてほしいところですね。このまま勝利に持ち込める。
She really would like to unleash this two combo. I'm not a big fan of the 5 bullet thing.
Tsuyoii na. 見かけによらず、あらごとにもたけるというわけか。君もペルソナ使いだったとはな。
With that, Kirijo-san stands
一つ
up.
断っておきたい。戦闘に入る前、私が何か君に無礼な言動を取ったかもしれないが。
分かっています。
She knows.
互いを戦わせるために幻覚を見せられていた。
気づいていたのか。さすがに白金の名は伊達じゃないな。では私も君のその体に関する数々の言葉は忘れることにしよう。
Huh? What? Her body? What did the illusionary me say?
しかし君がペルソナ使いだったとなると推測が2つ成り立つな。
Wait. Don't tell me that she...
一つは
Oh, God.
君が去年の連続殺人を真に解決した功労者の一人だろうということ。名もなき英雄たちというわけだ。
I shrug. And then I brace myself for the other shoe to drop. I know what she's about to say.
もう一つは君が私の敵対者かもしれないということだ。
Give me a second. Controller again. Oh. It's not responding. Controller has been disconnected. I'm gonna pull it out and plug it in again. Okay, let me see. Doing that also unplugs my... Doing that also unplugs my camera. Shit. 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 Just a moment. Oh, God. Why is my controller giving me so much problem today?
君は空輸の立ち会い人だったわけだが、ペルソナ使いという人選だったことになる。しかも君はそれを隠していた。ただの荷物番が目的で派遣されたとは考えられない。もし私の指摘が的外れでないなら、君に言わなければならないことがある。
In all honesty, I feel like I have no defense for what's going on or what's going to happen. I begin to try to find a way to make it through this conversation without ruining whatever goodwill I may still have with her.
白金君、改めて協力を仰げないだろうか。この世界については君に一日の長がある。加えて、負けた私はおそらくここを動けない。
Okay, I forgot to turn on my camera.
待ってください。僕を疑っているんじゃ。
対立した方が得策か。
I have no words. Kirijo-san smiles as she watches me. Her proposal completely surprised me. My surprise must have confirmed what she was thinking about me. She knew that I'm not the type of person who would become her enemy under normal circumstances. This is why she smiled. I'm no match for her. She's on a completely different level than I am. It's not a matter of social rank. She simply has a type of personality that makes people want to follow her. Kirijo-san doesn't wait for me to answer and continues. You know, about the thing that she said about the body, I do think she might have assumed that Naoto is a guy. Maybe she thinks that Naoto is coming on to her and, you know, interested in her body, easy to say.
君が察している通り、我々は強奪された2を追ってここへ来た。調べた結果、中身は対シャドウ特別制圧兵装5式ラビリス。その躯体だと分かった。シャドウと戦うためにペルソナ実装のテストベッドとして開発された機体だ。
ペルソナは心の力ではなのに機械がペルソナを。
そうだ、ラビリスには精神がある。容姿も細かくは不明だが、おそらく人に近い。
A humanoid machine? I did see something fitting that description before I came through the TV world. So that was a weapon developed by the Kirijo group. A humanoid robot, one with a heart at that. This is the fruits of Kirijo technology created from the research of shadows. I cannot help but be surprised. However, if the culprits were specifically after this Labris weapon, there's a high probability that it had been removed from its case and it's mobile. But I can't fathom that would benefit the thieves. There's one thing I can deduce though.
強奪事件が起きたのとほぼ同時にこの世界でも事件が。これはただの偶然でしょうか。この格闘大会の騒ぎとそのラビリスとは関係があるように思えます。
同感だ。
Before I know what I'm doing, I reach out to shake hands with
先
Kirijo-san.
ほどの協力の件お受けします。急いだ方がいいかもしれません。
すまない。君の仲間たちも大変な目に遭っているだろう。時に何も知らずにラビリスと遭遇している可能性も。
彼らなら大丈夫です。
ラビリスには未知の特殊装備があるとの記録もある。戦闘能力は未知数だ。侮りは。
いえ、大丈夫というのはそういう意味じゃありません。心があるんでしょ。なら戦うだけじゃない。救うことだってできる。みんなそう考えると思います。
そうか。
When I say that, I can see a smile on her face. I can tell that she believes in her friends as
そう
well.
だ。一つ確かめたい。君たちは仲間と連絡を取り合えているか。
I shake my head.
本来は情報系のペルソナを持つ仲間が2人いるんですが、どちらも消息不明で。
実は私にも少しだがそういった力がある。その仲間の容姿など教えてもらえるか。
Yeah, Mitsuru also had that power because she was the she was the navigator before Fuka comes in. I give her a detailed description of Lise and Teddy-san as I can.
クマの着ぐるみと少女。もしかして。
はい。主催者のように振る舞っている2人です。ただ、いつもはあんな風じゃ。
なるほどな。だが、おかげで漢字が具体的につかめて探しやすい。反応を探ってみよう。
Jijo-san focuses and closes her eyes. Her power must allow her to see an image she searches. It may be only a few powers, but it's still quite amazing.
一つだけ離れた場所に反応があるな。移動していない。よし、見つけた。聞こえるか。
Wait, she can
私は桐城充という。今、君の仲間の白金くんと一緒にいる。
I assume, like before this, I assumed that they were talking through like some sort of transmitter, instead of like using the power of personas. Kirijo-san looks at me and nods. She's communicating to me so that Rise-chan can hear my voice as well.
藤川さん。
ナオト君、本
はい。どうやら藤川さんもそうみたいですね。
よかった。変な偽クマに捕まって先輩たちはなんか戦っちゃってるし。
So Risi-chan's voice on the PA system was a fake? If that's the case, then there's no reason to believe that the image of Teddy on the monitors is the real thing
大丈夫
either.
です。落ち着いて。今いる場所がどこかわかりますか？
放送室みたいなとこ、なんか見えない壁みたいのがあって出られないの。偽クマのやつに見張られてて、ペルソナも使えないし。
I don't know who that fake Teddy is, but it seems that Risi-chan and the real Teddy were kidnapped to deprive us of a means of communication. In other words, to keep us fooled while we were in this world. Then again, that explains nothing about whatever objective could be gained by doing this to us. Because before Rise joined us, Kuma was the navigator for us. How does Debri's existence tie into this?
ありがとうございます。キリジョウさんでしたっけ？キリジョウ？どっかで。それは後でいいか。あなたもペルソナ使いなんですか？
まあ、だが詳しい話は後にしよう。実は君のすぐ近くにシャドウらしき反応が見える。大丈夫なのか？
いいえ、近くには見せクマしか。こいつが？
シャドウか。
I was hesitant to make a decision. Kiryu does not know Teddy. Of course, she doesn't know his origins. Even if the general was the real Teddy, she would probably think of him as a shadow, and if she didn't know better. But if General is merely something else that's taking on his appearance, it leads to a completely different conclusion. That is, it's a shadow from a normal human who doesn't have any tolerance for this world. But if that's the case, then why is it Shadow mimicking Teddy? I don't have enough pieces to begin solving this puzzle yet. While I'm still in the process of thinking things through, Kirijo-san speaks up.
白金君、早く行くんだ。通信は可能な限り私が維持し、君にも届ける。
わかりました。ではお先に。どうぞご無事で。
I nod back and start running onward to the announcement room when Rise-san is being held. As I hurry on, led by the invisible walls, I reach her classroom. I'll be forced into another fight here too, no doubt.
順調に勝ち進んでるクマね。さあ、お次もスペシャルゲスト。なおちゃんにぶつけるのは酷かもしれんけど、だからこそなおちゃんのちょっといいとこ見てみたい。さあ、対戦者出てこいクマ。
I knew it. I thought it was gonna be Aegis, but I knew it's either Aegis or Akihiko, but I put my money on Akihiko more. I see a silhouette frame in the spotlight. It's, well, how could I forget that
あ
attire?
なたは確か真田明彦さんですね。
ほう。帰国したばかりの俺を知っているのか。
桐城充さんの組織の一員。いえ、ご友人でしょうか。
なるほど。探っている本命は充か。少年探偵。
His words caused me to tense up. He just called me the ace detective. It's not the ace detective, it's more like the teenage detective. Perhaps that was just a guess from my family name, Shirogane, but he could have known that I'm spying on them from the police. I carefully search his eyes for anything that might tell me how much he knows. He looks me over from head to toe, and immediately sneers mockingly.
探偵の資本は頭脳より体だ。不規則な鉄や長時間の張り込み、それに耐えうる頑強な肉体。
Yep, this is the real Akihiko.
なのになんだ、その枯れ枝のような細い手足。胸周りだけは人一倍あるようだが、見たところ筋肉ではなく脂肪だな。まったく。
Wait, you can see the outline? This is also another thing that I want to see in P4. How are they gonna hide that body of hers? What is wrong with him? That's the part of my self-image I'm most sensitive
俺が
about.
体作りの極意を教えてやろう。
Akihiko is dumb enough to actually say this in real life.
まず1にプロテイン、2にプロテイン、3にも5にもプロテインだ。
Okay, he's not hypnotized or anything.
偏ってるでしょそれ。
Sanada-san flexes his muscles like a bodybuilder.
そしてスパーリング。ワン、ツー、であ。
He said sparring, but that punch was meant to do serious damage. This is absurd. However, putting his unhinged talk aside, his skill as a fighter isn't something I should take lightly. Shoot, I can't dodge them all.
ミツル。
Sanada-san stops suddenly as a familiar voice echoes through the room.
幻覚を見せられたんだ。白金君は何もしていない。手を出すな。
どういうことだ。こいつがいきなり殴りかかってきたんだぞ。
僕が殴った。
Suddenly I remember. That's right, this is all an illusion. I never met Sanada-san before, so I don't know what his usual self is supposed to be. On top of that, I allowed the first thing he said to get under my skin. How stupid of me. I let myself get swept up in the situation and failed to realize what's really happening.
僕からすれば先に殴りかかってきたのはあなたの方です。僕たちは互いに戦い合うよう幻覚を見せられたんです。
白金君は優秀な探偵だ。ペルソナ使いでもある。事情を話して協力してもらうことになった。もともと今回の件でも警察側の立ち会い人として居合わせていて、私も知らない仲じゃない。
Kirijo-san and I explained to Sana-san what has been happening up until now. It's a relief to learn that despite his appearance, he's actually quite a reasonable man and quick to pick up on things.
話を惑わせるノイズのような感覚はすでにない。もう話は通じるはずだ。
We reintroduce ourselves and shake hands.
どうやらくだらん仕掛けに惑わされていたようだ。
But we still have to fight, right?
こちらこそ知っていたはずなのに取り乱してしまって。
ペルソナ使いか。出会ったのも何かの縁だ。お前の実力一つ試していかないか。
Sana-san slams his fists together.
秋彦、また悪い病気が出たな。いいから彼に協力してやってくれ。
Ah! Him.
分
Him.
かった分かった。なら行くぞ、白金。
待ってください。大会のルールが。
Boom. As Sana-san walks away, as I figured, he hit the
大
wall.
丈夫ですか？
どうした？何が起きた？
わからん。見えない壁のようなものが。
ルールでは勝者しか先に進めないことになっていますから。
He's gonna enjoy that.
その
He was flustered mere seconds ago, but now Sana-san has taken a more lively expression.
つまり決裂していなくても勝者を決める必要があるわけか。なんだ、結局戦うんじゃないか。よし、全力で来い。
お手柔らかにお願いします。
I could almost hear Kirijo sighing in exasperation. It's a bookmark. Okay.
Round final. Fight.
お互い手だけ欲しいところですね。
Man, that was fun. He's flying all over the place.
欲しいところですね。これは一方的な展開になってしまった。なんていうな。これは危険だ。一気に押し切った。100% ってことね。さあ、どこを狙ってくるか。まだ相手は立ってい
Can I release?
勝負は決まったか。
Damn, I can't unleash the finisher.
Yaruna. いい試合だった。
試合って。
どちらか一人だけしか進めないというのはなんとも厄介なルールだな。
ちょっと待て。そういえばさっきあの総統とかいう着ぐるみと女子生徒が一緒に歩いてるのを見たぞ。常に一人しか進めないならルールに反している。
The fake Teddy and Risa-san were together all this time? Then, could the girl he's talking about be Risa-san?
その女子生徒の具体的な容姿を覚えていますか？
Sana-san tells me about the girl he's seen. What he said matches the description of the unknown girl Kanji-kun had talked about. Which means that there's a high probability that the person seen walking with her was not the general, but the real Teddy. At the very least, this is evidence that the argument that Teddy is the general. This creates another theory though. If general is not really Teddy, then he's someone else's shadow. And there's only one person that fits the bill. Well, not a person per se, but...
その少女がラビリスだとして、その彼女がシャドウの宿主とは考えられないでしょうか？
That's right, Labiris. If she has a heart capable of using a persona, then it stands to reason that she could create a shadow. In light of how the events last year played out, it makes perfect sense. She was kidnapped by someone who threw her into a TV world, creating a reflection of her heart.
ラビリスとヤソガミ高校の関連性は少なくともデータ上では確認できない。まして、君や君の仲間たちのことを知っているとは考えにくいが。
I've been having doubts about that as well, but at least I have a feel of what's going on. What Labyrinth's kidnapper hoping to gain from this remains unknown. However, at any rate, it should be good if the shadow were to run into his owner. Either way, it's best if I head to the announcement room. It's much more logical to restrain the false Teddy since I know his location than it will be to have to search for Labyrinth somewhere in this world. Still, if that really is Teddy with Labyrinth, why are they traveling together?
こちらこそ不手際ですまない。私の通信能力は補助的なものでな。かつての高校時代の仲間にはもっと力の強い情報系能力者もいたんだが。
Wait.
そんな全部あのバカグマのせいですよ。あいつ本当人を心配させる天才なんだから。
Wait. Doesn't this mean like Fuka's no longer with them? Maybe that she's in a university or somewhere.
しかし、見知らぬペルソナ使いに一度にこう何人も出会うとはな。昔を思い出す。
驚いたのは僕らも同じです。可能性を考えなかったわけじゃないですが、実際に僕ら以外のペルソナ使いと会うなんて。
高校時代の仲間ってなんか私たちみたい。キリジョーさんたちの高校時代ってどんなだったんですか？聞いてみたいかも。
そうだな。秋彦はこう見えて学生時代はボクシングのチャンピオンだった。
こう見えては余計だ。
それが何を間違えたのか、急にもっと強いやつに会いに行くとかなんとか言い出してな。
武者修行？なんか漫画とか時代劇みたいですね。
必要だと思ったから行動した。それだけだ。
The peaceful moment was shattered by Kirijo's voice.
なんだこの反応は。シャドウに似た大きな。
Huh? Another shadow's present? And it isn't false Teddy?
なんだろう。なんかイセクマが急に放送室から出てった。
Lisa-san made a report immediately after that. Nana-san and I look at each other. It seems like the situation is changing. Tanasa nods to me, and after taking a small bow, I run off. With no one watching over her anymore, Rise-san was able to summon her persona. The job of providing support moved from Kiryu-san, who not all of us knew, to Rise-san. Rise-san contacted the rest of us and let us talk to each other for a moment. I can't help but smile as I tell them about the others I had seen so far. It seems we are all safe for now, and now that we can communicate, we've greatly increased our awareness of the situation and our ability to share information. The general must have known that leaving Rita alone would result in this. If he did know, but left her anyway, there must have been something that something major is happening. And this is the thing that kind of like bugs me, because in all of them, okay, in all of the routes, we did see that he left for one specific time. And that caused Rise to let us talk to each other. Either that, or he has no longer any reason to hide. I hurry on while we share what we know. The actual design of this place may differ from the real Yasogami High School, but the general layout appears to be the same. So if I climb the stairs and turn the corner, the announcement room should be right there. However, Rise-san calls out a warning before I get there. The fact that Rise's communication didn't cut off once General Teddy reappeared, it's somewhat worrisome. But then again, General Teddy doesn't have the time to bother with watching Rise-san. After all, if the real Teddy and Labris are both right there as well, he has more important things to be concerned with. That confirms that General Teddy is a fake. It's only natural then to assume that Labris' shadow is disguised. But that makes things dangerous. Labris and her shadow are confronting each other. Rise-san should know that the dangers of the situation, but she doesn't know Labris. She might not realize that what the relationship with the girl and the shadow. I have to warn her, but before I can speak, it happened. So in other words, like Labris is awakening right now. The study gets worse. Why can't I communicate with her when we're so close? There's something happening in the announcement room. I run as fast as I can towards it. As I reach the door, I hear a loud scream from inside. I slam the door open without a second thought, prepare for a fight. But the attack comes from an unexpected assailant. Of anyone in the room, I wouldn't have thought it would be here. Who would it be? There's supposed to be Teddy, General Teddy, Rise, Labiris. Like, Labris is out of the question. You say that she didn't expect. So it's not that. It's not Labiris, because it's an unknown factor. Teddy? I doubt it's gonna be Rise. Because the weird thing about Rise, she's a supporter type, right? But when it was still her shadow, it was a freaking tough enemy. Teddy? But then when we saw Teddy, like, the Teddy, he's not being controlled by anybody. Or maybe Teddy's shadow. Well, I'm not sure. But Naoto's like really shed a lot of light, okay? Because so far, the rest, okay, with the 6 that we've been through, we kind of like get bits and pieces, okay, of a different perspective of the same coin, okay? But now though, she's starting to introduce the P3 characters, which makes things more interesting. So there's more information to be gathered. I would say it's almost as insightful as you first play you, okay? And it gives almost the same amount of information because we're dealing with 3 extras. Now, like I say, these two are very concerning to me because these two is what I assume is the reason why the General Teddy have to leave the room to deal with. If it's somebody dangerous, then I would put like the P3 members. We did hear that Mitsuru say, okay, so we're gonna go in with the 3 of us and the rest will wait. Okay, so in other words, Junpei, Yukari, Ken, they're out of the you know, the pool of suspects. Okay, so the only people that we can assume here is probably this one probably we have to be Adachi. Okay, Adachi 1, and the another one, Namatame? But Namatame is not a big enough character to receive his own slot. So I'm not sure about the other one. Or maybe it's maybe it's Labris herself. But then, if I don't think it's Labris herself is gonna be here. The reason why I don't think it's Labris is because Labris have to fight, meaning she have to awaken before like awaken and start fighting. So I don't think this is it. Okay, so maybe Adachi, this one, not sure who. Okay, so I think like this is it for today. Okay, we'll pick it up on Thursday again. So I'm really curious about these two, but let's go with the 3 of them. I think the 3 of them, they're probably gonna be like you're probably gonna see like what they do like after they graduate, because like I told you, P3 members 2008, P4 members 2010. Okay, and they're probably gonna like fill in during this time. I assume it's 2011. Okay, this is 2011. So these 2-3 years, what they have been doing since then. And I bet the protagonist for P3, his name is gonna be brought up as they'd like to remember them. Okay, but that's all for now. I'll see you guys next time. Okay, so it's time for me to take my rest. So yeah, next time, bye bye.